If it's a longer trip po, then the commission goes as low as 5%. Given that,
When does that happen?
so if
The commissions are based not on the total number of, unlike sa MC Taxi,
No, sir.
but it is based on the degree of quote Itong ipinapangako namin sa inyo sa harap ng ating mga kasama na sinasabi ni Speaker Bogie D na sa kongresong ito tatapusin natin ang batas patungkol sa MC Taxi, TNVS para magkaroon na talaga ng katiyakan dyan dahil napakatagal na ho nating naghahanap ng katahimikan dyan. So yan po isang bagay na talagang itutulak natin. Nandito si Chairman Franz. So yan po ay magiging sukatan sa pamumuno po ng kongresong ito.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may. I will give you assurance, kaya na sinabi mo.
The next would be Move It. Move It, would you like to say a few things? But before that, I just want to note, I believe Angkas and Grab have insurance policies also, no, for their riders. So I just want to put that on the record para patas naman tayo. I'm not sure about the other apps. Move It, would you like to say
Mr.
a few
Jacinto,
words?
please.
Good afternoon. Hello. Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Sa Move It po, no, yung pinakamababang tier namin is yung 15%. Now kanina po na-flash sa screen na meron kaming 23%. I just want to make it clear na kung titignan nyo po yung screen, nung screenshot nung app, may makikita po kayo ditong ride cover, opt-in. Ito po ay additional insurance na binabayaran po ng passenger dun sa platform. And therefore, hindi po ito kasama dun sa fare na dapat mapunta dun sa rider. At hindi rin po dapat na nakabase rin dito yung commission. Kung tatanggalin po natin kasi yung ride cover na ito, dun po lalabas na 20 or 21% commission. Now, tulad din po sa Angkas, ganon din po yun sa amin, no? Tiered siya. 15 yung pinakamababa, dun sa pinakamasipag. Yung medyo masipag, 18%. Yung saktuhan lang, 20%. And yung mga sobrang part-timer, minsan 1 ride, 2 rides per week or per month, yun po yung 21%. So ganun po yung structure nung commission namin. And gusto naman po namin ibaba, kaya lang syempre inisip din po namin yung kapakanan ng mga riders namin. Dahil nagpo-provide po kami ng libreng insurance, accident insurance, libreng life insurance kasi po naniniwala kami na ang buhay ng rider, kung ano man ang mangyari, hindi po magtutuloy ang buhay ng pamilya. Kaya sa amin po, importante ang rider, pero kinakailangan din namin alagaan ang pamilya nila. Kaya po, halos every week, kahit natural death, meron po kami binibigay na cover na yung pamilya, sinisigurado namin, kahit papano, nagpapaaral ng anak, matutuloy po ang pamumuhay nila sa pagbibigay namin ng 1 million peso na coverage. So yung po lahat ng yon, nakaloob po sa commission yon.
Mr.
So,
Jacinto,
opo.
doon muna tayo sa commission or premium, ha? Doon tayo
Opo.
mag-concentrate muna.
Opo,
So,
Mr. Chair.
sa huling pag-uusap, ang sinabi ninyo, nagbaba na kayo. So, ang dami yung nagte-text sa akin, eh. Mga constituent ko mismo, na nagsasabi na pagdating sa Move It, pagdating daw after the fuel hike, nag-22% pa, eh.
Yung po yung pinapaliwanag ko, yung 22%, kasi po may ride cover dito nakalagay. Ito po pilit namin na pinapaliwanag sa rider. Kung makikita nyo po dito, may nakalagay po na ride cover. Yung mapapansin ninyo, yung 20% na commission, wala pong nakalagay na ride cover.
Anong cover? Sorry?
Ride cover po, additional coverage po ng insurance yan ng pasahero. So pwede po sila mag-opt-in. So may additional 7 pesos po.
So sorry. So the additional 2% or thereabouts is to cover for insurance premiums? Is that correct?
Insurance.
Ganito po yon. Halimbawa po, ako ay isang pasahero at magbubuka ako ng Move It. Meron pong option ako na pwedeng i-click dito na kailangan ko po ng additional insurance coverage. So ano po ang nakapaloob dito? Ito po yung nakapaloob dito. In the event of an accident, death, or dismemberment, may additional 1 million pesos ako makukuha. Pero I need to pay as a passenger additional 7 pesos. Ngayon po, pag nakita ng rider kasi yon, di kakarga po sa pamasahe yun. Pero ang nagbayad po yung pasahero. Ang iniisip nila, yung fare ng pasahero is, for example, ito, 157, ano magkano ba to? 205 no? Tapos i-deduct nila yung commission dito, lalabas 23.41%. Pero kung tatanggalin nyo po rito yung 7 pesos, dapat ang pamasahe lang nito ay, teka lang po, medyo malabo mata ko eh.
Okay, okay.
Mga
Sige po.
20%.
So kumbaga may miscommunication dyan.
Meron pong miscommunication.
Hindi yan 22% kasi kahit 22% ang binabawas namin dyan, in reality, yung 2% dyan, ang nagbayad dyan ay yung
Pasahero
pasahero.
po. Opo.
Di ba hindi namin binabawas sa inyo yan?
Yes, Mr.
Yan
Chair.
ay binabayad direkta sa may-ari ng platform.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So hindi nyo pera yan.
Hindi po.
Hindi nyo fair yan na binabawasan namin. Tama?
Opo, opo.
So currently, what is the base? Kung ikaw isang beses lang magbiyahe sa isang araw, 20%. Correct? Alisin na muna natin yung insurance
21%
yan.
po, to be honest.
21%.
21%. Kung halimbawa po, ang
Ano ang commitment ng Move It pagdating sa panahon ng krisis na ito? Gusto natin madagdagan ng kanilang kita? Ano ang inyong commitment? Magkano ibababa? Anong kondisyon?
yan po kailangan namin pag-usapan kasi po sa kasalukuyan po meron kaming proyektong ginagawa ngayon wherein we are willing to provide gasoline voucher. Na ipag-usap na rin po kami sa mga oil companies to provide additional discount for Move It riders po. So
Pero
pwede
yung
po na-
commission kasi is direct eh. It's there. So you look at the base price, you look at the bottom line, the impact is direct, 'di ba? Are you open to reducing that base price?
Open naman po kami. Hayaan niyo pong pag-aralan po namin sa opisina.
Pwede bang sagutin nyo kami dyan within the day?
Sige po.
Bago matapos tong hearing na to? So nagko-commit na yung dalawa na ibaba to 15%? At the very least, pwede bang mag-give or take naman tayo dito? 'Di ba? Kasi sa totoo lang, in the end, hindi rin mamamasada yung mga yan kapag ganyang kalaki yung komisyon eh. Unless you have an extremely large base of riders. Like which I said, I'm not gonna talk about that today kasi lalalim ang usapan dyan. So yun na lang po ang hinihingi namin pakiusap sa inyo. Ha? Malasakit po ng konti, sama-sama po tayo dito.
Sige po.
Mr. Sinto,
Sige, Mr. Chair.
okay ba tayo?
Okay po.
Ha? Give us an answer, ha? Bago matapos.
Sige po.
Sino yung, who's the last one na MC Taxi? Go ahead, Attorney Bonifacio.
Yes. But Chair, I'll be speaking for GrabCar. I think all
Four
of the
wheels ito, four wheels.
wheels na po,
Ma'am,
Mr.
magkano
Chair.
ang ating base commission?
So, medyo complicated yung answer. I think what we answered po nung Monday is 18% average. But we must explain further. We were trying to meet with Congressman Brian to explain because I think my colleague who went last Monday was worried about MNPI, its material non-public information, given that Grab is a US-listed company. So he wasn't sure if he could share the numbers. I'm also not sure, but in the interest of being candid to the panel, I will share. So our commission structure is actually not a straight out average rate as Kong Brian put in his briefer. It's 15 to 23%. If you average that, that's 18% po. And this was what was explained last Monday. So it depends po kasi it's a variable commission depending on the effort that the driver puts into the pickup. And the entire booking po. For example po, nandito po kayo sa house, yung driver po na na-assign sa inyo is just outside. Yung pickup radius po is less than 1 kilometer. So it's an easy job and the final destination is say 5-7 kilometers. It's an easy job and therefore higher commission po is that's the rule. If it's a longer trip po, then the commission goes as low as 5%. Given that,
When does that happen?
so if
The commissions are based not on the total number of, unlike sa MC Taxi,
No, sir.
but it is based on the degree of quote-unquote difficulty of the job.
correct,
Meaning you
sir.
have to go out of your way to pick up. There's no other Grab provider. Magbabiyahe ka para hindi sila nagka-cancel.
Yes, sir.
Diba?
Correct. Yes, sir.
So that your drivers stay with Grab and your users stay with Grab.
Exactly, sir. So if it's a longer pickup, more than 10 kilometers,
Panyera,
it's 5%.
that's
Yes, sir.
clear. Don't get me wrong, I'm not cutting you off. Pero ang tinatanong po natin dito, knowing that fee structure that you have, ano po ho ba ang po pwede ninyong i-commit sa inyong mga partner drivers in terms of considering the crisis that they are all facing?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So beginning, Chair, during the crisis, we have given a 4% rebate. But as Kong Brian rightly intuited earlier, there was a condition. So you get your 4% if you drive during the peak hours po. So why don't we give it as a straight commission? It's actually po for the consideration of the passenger. If you do po a straight commission during peak hour, wala pong magdadrive na. Kasi kumbaga, okay na sila, mahirap ngayon, madami traffic, di ako magdadrive, mamaya na lang 8 o'clock. Pag ganun po yung mentality, wala pong masasakyan ang taong bayan. So, what we do po is, we tuck the incentive, the 4% cashback rebate. If you drive for 30 minutes or longer, it kicks in, and then it's during the peak hours po to ensure that passengers get a ride on the platform. So, we've started with the 4% rebate. The EXCO is happening right now, Mr. Chair, to consider further rebates, another 4%. So if your blended commission is 18, less 4% rebates, so that's 14, another 4%, that's 10% commission. And the behavior of our drivers, 90% opt in this program. We call it Turbo. 90% po ang nag-opt in to avail of that incentive of 4%, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, okay. Tapusin ko na lang ha. So ma'am, okay kami dyan. Nagsa-start kayo dyan. But we need ano pang ibang proposals ninyo. Kaya ho tayo nandito, pinakikinggan natin ano yung mga pamamaraan because don't ever forget that you are also exercising a business that is imbued with deep public interest. So you are there because the state allows it.
Very
So ngayon
clear.
ang Estado ay nakikiusap sa inyo, ano ho bang pwede ninyong maitulong sa ating mga kababayan? Ginagalang namin yon. Tama yung correct incentives. Sa lahat ng ayaw natin mangyari is walang mamamasada sa panahon ng kailangan ng publiko ng sasakyan. Yan ang ayaw natin mangyari. Kaya ginagalang natin yung business model. Pero ang pakiusap namin, ano naman ang para sa mamamayan?
Yes. For at the end of the day, as others have committed, we will get back to the chair to consider. It is being discussed right now, Mr. Chair, during the EXECOM meeting, and we will get back to you. But Mr. Chair, maybe I just said, katulad po ng Move It, meron din po kaming mga fuel rebates. So they get, depende po sa partner, we have Caltex, Sea Oil, Shell, 3 to 5 pesos. Blue Energy, we have 3 to 5 pesos discount per liter po. So kung gamitin po nila yung fleet card ng Grab na binibigay po sa mga driver, about 20,000 drivers have it. This one naman po, based on the tiering, as Angkas and Jared was saying, the top 20,000 drivers get this fleet card, and for every liter that they put in, they get 3 to 5 pesos as rebates po. That's what we've been doing po. We continue to make this available.
Without violating the privacy of data privacy of your drivers, provide us the data relative to how many are actually availing of these discounts so we can see the impact of these new programs. Importante para sa amin yun, ha?
Will do,
Tapos,
Mr. Chair.
bigyan nyo pa kami. Bigyan nyo pa ang inyong partner drivers kung ano pang pwede ninyo maibigay dyan.
Yes, Mr. Chair, you have our commitment as well to get back to you with further incentives or further cushioning for the drivers during this crisis po.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Chair.
Sandali lang guys. Let's make Brian wrap up first, ha? Kasi germane, very germane. Everything is very germane. So go ahead,
Mr. Chair, just want to...
Kong Zia,
Thank you,
the
thank you.
best looking Maranao in Congress today. Go ahead.
Medyo mayroon ako na-catch kanina, Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Kong Brian. You were mentioning about the rebates. Is the rebates na bibigyan yung incentives versus the mileage or the distance of the travel, or that would also include the travel time? Because you mentioned about 30 minutes driving So I'm just wondering, Mr. Chair, would that also include the travel time? If it's travel time alone, traffic yun, di ba? Halimbawa. So would that constitute mileage versus the travel time or both yun?
Sir, both po. For as long as you've been driving for 30 minutes po, then that incentive program sa'yo na. And I stand corrected po, wala pala pong oras tong turbo program na 4%. The minute po na 30 minutes ka na nagda-drive, nagki-kick in na po siya.
Okay, maraming salamat. Kong Rene, pwede bang mamaya? Tatawagin kita eh.
Apo,
Ha?
after Kong Brian po, with the indulgence of the committee as well.
Hindi, tatawagin kita for your turn later on.
Pero very quick lang po na
Go ahead,
question
go ahead,
po.
go ahead,
Apo, sige,
go ahead.
Thank you for the
Kong
indulgence
Rene,
of
sige.
Kong Brian. Sige. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gusto ko lang din pong maklarify, yesterday we had that discussion ng ano yung caps. So, may admission na beyond yung caps, may number of drivers tayo. Lahat po ba ito ay temporary? And can I ask kung ano po ba yung exact number?
Okay. So the numbers that were cited last Monday was since the beginning of GrabCar in 2014, because this was the instruction given to us by the agencies. So they asked us lahat ng in-onboard nyo, I mean lahat ng nabigyan nyo ng trabaho since the beginning of time. So that was the 200,000 plus numbers po that we gave. But to clarify po, ma'am, based on LTFRB MC issuances from 2022 to 2025, they are allowing 56,000 TNVS cars, CPCs po. Ang CPC po ay naka-attach sa sasakyan, hindi po doon sa tao. So kung ikaw po ay isang operator, katulad po sa Grab nakikita namin, gusto mo i-max out yung sasakyan mo, yung investment mo, so you will assign 3 drivers per car. So if you go by po the allowed number of TNVS per the MCs of LTFRB, so 55,000 times 3. Kasi po that's the business practice that we see. 1 car, 3 drivers. So that's about 165,000 drivers po. And that could be conservative kasi po may nakikita kami ibang operator, minsan 10 yung driver, yung nagro-rotate po yung driver nila. So, yun po yung, baka yung nagbigay po kami ng listahan based on all of the drivers that were given to us by the operators who has the CPC, and then doon po yung nagkakaroon ng miscommunication. Basta po kami sinamit namin, hindi po namin sinasabi bigyan lahat. It was labeled po. For example, of the 200,000, kalahati inactive na po. Dito po, ito po yung GrabCar. Mga 100,000 po inactive. Yung iba po hindi na nagda-drive. So, there are many ways po. Ano ba po yung gusto nating qualification para po makakuha ng ayuda yung driver? Yung pinaka-active po in the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. We have that data po, but we thought government wanted to decide kung sino po yung nararapat bigyan. But rest assured, ma'am, that we have the same objective, is mabigyan lahat ng nararapat ng ayuda.
Mr. Chair, I asked this question dahil po, specifically maybe for MC Taxi, yung na-identify natin last Monday, no, meron pong mga excess, and yung excess ay, at least for the part of Joyride, na-identify sila as mga part-time or temporary. No? So gusto ko lang pong i-clarify for other MC Taxi.
Kong Rene, that's already a probing question. Okay? No, seriously. So that's no longer an interjection. So let's just give the chance to wrap up, if you don't mind.
Sige po. I'll ask the question to LTFRB
We
na lang
will
later
call
po.
on you later.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. Let's stick to the affidavit. Let's stick to the subject matter.
Thank you, Mr.
Am I
Chair.
correct, Kong Laila? Yes, Kong Brian.
Mr.
Last
Chair,
na.
last na. For InDrive, if you could share a few words.
Yes, sir. Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair. InDrive is very transparent. Actually, dito po sa report, makikita nyo po na yung fare, yung commission, which is roughly around 8% only. So basically, dito po sa report, it's only 8.92%. Kasama pa po yung VAT doon. That's why it reached 10.08%. And hindi po kami lumampas dyan. We are true to our word, and we offer this, ito pong nakikita nyo sa report po ni Kong makikita niyo po sa lahat po ng mga drivers po namin yan na kumukuha ng orders. And also, Mr. Chair, we will also clarify that we already gave 2.7 million worth of fuel vouchers sa ating mga drivers. And the 20% discount for our senior citizens and PWDs, we fully cover. Yung company po nagko-cover ng buo. So kasama po kami ng mga kapatid nating mga drivers po dito sa krisis na to. At sana po makatulong po kahit papano.
Attorney Topacio, pakilinaw nga, magkano ang commission ng InDrive?
Maximum po is 10%.
Maximum 10%.
Yes, sir.
Ano ang base? Meaning, magbiyahe ka lang isa-dalawang beses isang araw. Four wheels tayo, di ba?
Yes, sir. 10% po ang ano namin, sir. And actually, it even goes to as low as 1% in our purple zone. Ang nakita ko po dito sa report.
Kailan siya umaabot ng 1%?
Sir, meron po kaming mga...
Generally.
Depende, sir, sa demand at sa lugar. Pero we have screenshots po from our drivers to prove that.
At 10%, kumikita naman ng InDrive.
Yes, sir. And dire-require po kami ng LTFRB to submit our financials. And kumikita po talaga ang InDrive po.
How
dun
long
sa
has
10%.
InDrive been running?
2023 po in the Philippines. So basically 3 years na po ngayon.
Are you the ones with the electric vehicles then? Iba yun?
Ina-apply po namin ngayon yun, Mr. Chair, pero hindi pa po kami nag-ooperate doon. Actually, Mr. Chair, sir, yung InDrive po, we have also, I'll take this opportunity because our bosses from the LTFRB is also here. Meron din po kami petition na final. It's a P2P, peer-to-peer po na negotiation po ng fares. Ang objective po namin dito is totally to eliminate yung surge na digital, no, na nagpapataas pa lalo sa pamasahe. Ang objective po namin dito is yung driver and yung pasahero within the fare matrix po allowed by law ay pwede mag-negotiate ng isang fare
So
na
sila magtatawaran.
within the fare po allowed by
Ilan
law.
ang kausap mo doon? Isa lang.
Yung driver lang po at yung pasahero po ang ano doon, ang nag-uusap. Tapos we filed it po with the LTFRB.
Okay, last question.
Yes, sir.
Bakit kaya nyo 10%? Anong meron kayo na hindi kaya ng iba?
It's a proven formula po for us based on 48 countries that we operate.
Sorry?
So we cannot hindi na po kami pwede mag-comment po sa kung paano po nag-ooperate yung ibang companies, but we can stick to our 10%.
Feel free to comment on the operations of others so we will know.
Sir, we earn. Basically, our company earns po on 10%. It shows that because we are growing and we are investing po in other regions pa sa Pilipinas, so we can confidently say that we can stick to our 10% promise po.
Okay. Kong Brian, can you wrap up, please?
So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
And this is important because if you can show that you're profitable at 10%, that really sends a signal to the technical working group that we should explore what the commissions are per platform if you're really able to do it profitably at 10%.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
we'll request that. But what I want to request from each of the platforms, to be fair to all of you, please submit to our technical working team, all the subsidies and benefits that you've given your riders and the tier system that you have explained to us today and your final decision on whether or not you will be rolling back on your commissions. JT, Wave, yun. That's my technical work, my head of research. Please coordinate with him para I can immediately update and be fair to all of you dun sa mga riders natin. Mr. Chair, I don't want Food Panda, Lalamove, Picaroo, and the others to feel like they're exempt from this, kumbaga, they're the other side of the coin. And they should also be chipping in. In fact, I've received many complaints from them. But Mr. Chair, in light of time, and I know we will have succeeding hearings, baka we can proceed with the next line of questioning. And sa susunod na hearing natin, baka we can bring up na the concerns on their commissions po.
Before we proceed to call on the member of the minority, nandito ang Lalamove. Dito ba? Lalamove. May mikropono ka dyan? Bigyan nyo nga ng mikropono. Upo ka dyan kung saan may microphone. Pati po yung Food Panda. Asan ang Food Panda? Go ahead, introduce yourself clearly so that our stenographers will take note.
Good afternoon, Chair. Adrian Asoy from Lala Move Philippines. I'm the Public Affairs Lead.
Can you tell us, same questions, what is your commission structure?
So our commission structure is at 20% for here in Luzon and 15% in Cebu. But just like in other platforms, for example, for us, long distance deliveries and also stickered vehicles could go as low as 5%.
So are you open to lowering your base commission?
We just like other platforms, sir. I'm currently in discussion with our management to consider this proposal.
Are you a lawyer?
Sir?
Are you a lawyer?
No, sir.
You answer like a lawyer. Huh?
At the
You
same time,
just-
sir, we'll just like to put it on record. We do have a ride-hailing part for our four wheels. That vertical that we do have is at 0% currently, since we're just starting out.
Yeah, before the end of today, you give us an answer relative to your commitment as far as your partner riders are concerned.
Yes, sir.
In the delivery business, in the carriage of goods, what is the market share of Lala Move?
I currently do not have that number with regards to our
What is your
Percentage.
what is your hazard? What do you guess?
sir.
How much of the market do you control? What do you think?
That, sir, I can't. I don't have a specific figure as of the moment. I need to confer with our operations.
What is your position in Lala Move?
Public affairs lead, sir.
My goodness, you're public affairs. You don't know the answer. How can you be proud of your company? You don't even know your market share.
In terms of the specific number, sir, I currently do not possess the number, but
You find out. You
Yes,
find
sir.
out and
Yes,
tell
sir.
us, huh?
Mr.
sir.
Chair, kahit an estimate? An estimate of the market share?
currently, sir, unfortunately, I don't have the current number for our market share. But
Would you say you're the market leader?
that could be. We are what we always say is we're the number one in terms of on-demand delivery, sir.
Oh,
On-demand delivery,
That's what we all use, Lala Move.
sir.
So, yeah, you...
Yes, sir. But that's only for the aspect of on-demand delivery. In other aspects, let's say traditional logistics, I think we're not.
So we
yet
will
that
get
far.
back to you later, huh?
Yes, sir.
Food Panda, where is Mr. Food Panda?
Gandang hapon po. Lou Lopez po from Food Panda.
Can you introduce yourself again, sir?
Lou Lopez po from Food Panda.
What is your position in Food Panda?
I head po the Public Relations, Public Affairs, and CSR Division of Food Panda Philippines, sir.
Oh, go ahead. What is your commission structure?
Mr. Chair, I guess different po yung sa amin dahil yung sa amin ho, on the commission side, it's on the vendor side, not on the rider side. Iba po yung relasyon with if in terms of po of commission, it's with the vendors and not with the riders. The riders are in a different category po in terms of that.
Can you repeat that?
Yung commission po ay between Food Panda po and the vendors, yung mga
So yung
restaurant.
vendor na nagbabayad.
Hindi po kami
So
sa...
sino nagbabayad sa inyo? Yung vendor.
Opo.
So magkano siyempre kung anong ipapasa lang din yun ng vendor, di ba? Magkano ang commission nyo from the vendor?
I guess, Mr. Chair, it varies and I don't know if I am privy to the complete details of that. But
Is
what
that
I can say,
proprietary ba yan? Yung data na yan?
I would think po, opo.
It cannot be proprietary. It's a public good.
Mr. Chair, but what I can...
How can you be regulated if you are excessively profiteering?
Mr. Chair, what I can tell you now is if the vendors, the costs are most of the costs are borne by Food Panda, meaning if vendors decide to up their prices, sinasaluhan namin yung cost via certain vouchers and incentives po.
So ultimately, it really is the public that shoulders that. The one who actually orders pays for that, for your commission, because it is obviously passed on by the vendor. Ultimately.
Not po necessarily, Mr. Chair. As I mentioned po, si Food Panda po, normally, kapag umaangat po yung komisyon or prices mula sa vendor, meron po siyang mga incentives and partnership with the vendor. So, ina-absorb po yung movement. As of today, sir, I can definitely say that there is no movement in terms of our pricing to our consumers po.
Yeah, but obviously it's passed on kasi Hindi naman charitable institution yung binagbibilan ng tao eh. Papasa din yun dun sa bumibili. Di ba? Kahit yung mga taga-dole sa likod mo, natatawa sa sagot eh. Pero anyway, we'll get back to you a little bit later if you don't mind, ha?
Salamat po.
May we call on the next person to interpellate, ha? We'd like to call on Kong from the party list Akbayan, the Honorable Percy Sendanya.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Balikan ko lamang po yung sa LTFRB kanina kasi medyo hindi tayo natapos dun sa kwento. So for the record po, ano na ang status ng policy natin when it comes to GPS? Medyo nalito po kami kasi sinabi ninyo may pagbabago tapos yung pa rin pala yung in place. So for the record po, anong status ng policy?
Mr. Chair, ang malinaw po ngayon yung GPS hindi na po mandatory.
Kailan po lumabas yung directive na ito?
Kahapon pa po pinag-usapan po namin during our meetings. Tapos yung alternative po is yung QR code.
Sige po. Sa meeting po na ito, inaasahan natin, Mr. Chair, that the LTFRB will furnish the committee with a copy of the said directive and immediately submit it to this committee. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Noted, Mr. Chair.
Kung kahapon po lumabas yung polisiya, paano po ninyo dinisseminate sa ating pong mga tsuper itong polisiyang ito?
Mr. Chair, doon sa QR code po kasi nagkaroon po kami ng online application at sinama na rin po namin yung pag-build ng QR code. Kasama na po doon nakapackage po through online application, Mr. Chair.
Paano po natin ito pinapaliwanag sa ating po mga kababaeng tsuper? Kasi meron po itong technological requirement at saka meron po itong know-how dapat.
Mr. Chair, ang kausap po is yung mga operator tapos inorient na rin po sila, tinulungan po ng ating mga employee.
So kung kahapon po lumabas ang polisiya, nagkaroon po ng orientation, kailan po naganap yung orientation?
Kailan po
Naganap yung orientation. Sabi niyo po, nagkaroon ng orientation.
Kaninang umaga, Mr. Chair.
Ilan po ang na-orient natin?
Ang target po is
So ibig sabihin po ba nito, Mr. Chair, yung 47,000 na binanggit nila kanina ay na-orient natin ngayong umaga para sa isang polisiya na lumabas kahapon?
Mr. Chair, yung kasama lang po kanina is partial tapos sunod-sunod na po.
Ilan po yung partial kanina?
Wala po kaming data sa ngayon, Mr. Chair, pero we can submit to you.
Sige po, kung kanina po ang orientation, kailan niyo po nilabas ang imbitasyon?
Ang idea ko, Mr. Chair, kanina rin po.
Kanina rin. So kanina po ang orientation, tapos kanina rin po nilabas ang imbitasyon para sa ating mga super at mga operator. Anong klaseng programa po yan? Alam po natin tayo sa gobyerno, may required number of days tayo ng notices. Ano po nasa Citizens Charter po ninyo? Pagdating po sa mga ganyang patawag ng konsultasyon, ng mga meetings at gatherings, ano pong sinasabi sa inyong Citizens Charter? Ilang araw po dapat yung notice na binibigay natin?
Dapat 1 week, Mr. Chair.
Sige po, 1 week. Inuulit ko po para lang malinaw yung timeline. Nagkaroon po ng pagbabago sa polisiya kahapon. Anong oras po lumabas ang direktiba?
Sa aking pagkakala, Mr. Chair, kanina po.
Ulitin ko lang po ha. Kailan po uli nagbago yung directive? Kahapon po o ngayon? Pagdating po sa GPS.
Nag-meeting po kami kahapon.
Nag-meeting
tapos
po kayo kahapon. Anong oras po yung pulong?
alas 6 na po alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi po, Mr.
Alas
Chair.
6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. On the eve of the implementation of a national service contracting program. Tapos nagkaroon ng major policy shift in terms of implementation. Magkakaroon daw ng bagong teknolohiya na kinakailangang i-orient yung ating po mga tsuper. Lumabas ang imbitasyon, tama po ba ako? Umaga. Tapos ang orientasyon din po ay kaninang umaga. Anong oras po yung orientation?
Mga 7 to 8 ng umaga, Mr. Chair. Pero
Kung
actually,
7 to
Mr.
8
Chair,
po, kung 7 to 8 ng umaga po yung orientation, anong oras po nilabas yung imbitasyon? Madaling araw?
through posting po sa aming Facebook account, Mr. Chair. Actually, let me clarify, Mr. Chair. Sa totoo lang po, may mga dati na po na nagjo-join ng service contracting. Tapos doon sa mga QR code, yun po yung isusunod namin, magkakasunod na po. Kasi yung target po namin para maumpisahan lang po is kanina. Inumpisahan po namin siya. So yung iba,
Doon na po ako sa meron na dati na bahagi ng programa. Pero ito po kasi nag-introduce kayo ng bagong teknolohiya, yung QR code para po mas maging accessible sa marami. Pero ang sinasabi po natin, nag-meeting po kayo kahapon para po baguhin yung polisiya. Tama po ba?
yes po Mr. Chair, kasi marami rin hong nagsabi po sa amin na wala pong GPS. Kaya humanap po kami ng another option. At yun po yun, yung QR code po. Pero still, mayroon na rin pong nakapag-apply at yun po yung mga inumpisahan namin kanina. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may we request the LTFRB also to submit an accomplishment report pagdating po dito sa usapin ng shift dito sa programang ito, particular po yung bilang at kung sino ang umattend sa kanilang mga orientation program at kung saan lugar po ito naganap. Sana po within this meeting, Mr. Chair.
We will submit, Mr. Chair.
Alam niyo po ba kung ilang orientation sessions ang naganap? Physical po ba ito o online?
Online po tapos sa physical yung iba, Mr. Chair.
Sige po, doon po tayo muna sa physical. Saan lugar po ito naganap?
Sa mismong site na, Mr. Chair, kaninang umaga.
Saan po yung site po kaya? Again, Mr. Chair, kung di po masagot ng LTFRB, again, we would like to instruct the LTFRB to submit to this committee the list of orientation sessions that were conducted today, including the number of participants mula po sa ating transport sector.
So instructed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Hindi na po ako magtatanong pa sa LTFRB kasi obviously po, kitang-kita ng ating mga kababayan yung kawalan ng kahandaan para sa implementasyon ng isang programa na malaking investment ng gobyerno at nakita po natin na talaga namang nakaka-alarma yung ganitong klaseng haphazard implementation of a major crisis intervention program. Mr. Chair, may we also instruct the LTFRB to submit to this committee yung pong technology na ginamit natin pagdating po doon sa GPS program na sabi po nila ay in-house din-develop ng kanilang IT at kasama po dito yung listahan ng lahat ng mga accredited providers, including the process of accreditation. So move, Mr. Chair.
So instructed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Sige po, lipat lang po ako din sa mga kasama natin mula sa TNVS.
Ay, akala ko tapos na. Go ahead. Go ahead. You still have time. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kong Percy.
Opo. Last two...
Please take your time. Take your time. Kong
Sige.
Percy was my USC in UP Diliman chairperson, ha? Go ahead, Kong Percy.
Hanggang ngayon po, kinakabahan pa rin po ako in the presence of Chair Miro Kimbo kasi nung tumatakbo po ako sa Student Council, sila po yung nag-grill sa amin kapag may room-to-room speeches. Pero again po, going back to our colleagues here from the TNVS, yung po mga kababayan natin, napansin ko, bilang tulong po dun po sa ating mga drivers, nagdadagdag sila ngayon ng tips. Kumusta po? Napansin niyo rin po ba yung ganong surge in terms of tips? Ano po ang ating monitoring na increase sa panahon ito ng krisis sa mga tips po sa ating mga drivers? Sino pong gusto mauna? And Grab po.
Hi, Mr. Chair. Yes. So sa tips po, sa Grab po, whether sa car po o dun sa delivery, nakahiwalay po to sa binabayaran po ng pasahero. If mapapansin niyo po, pag nag-end po yung ride, for example, di ba po makikita niyo, matcha-charge kayo kung ano man po yung fare. Tapos, kung nagbigay po kayo ng tip, may pangalawa pong napapasok po na pop-up na sinabi 50 pesos kasi po ito po ay diretso sa wallet nung driver po. So, nung We can get back to you po, Mr. Chair. But ang natatandaan kong pong figure ay nung COVID times, Mr. Chair. Nung COVID po, we included this in our sustainability report. There was a total of about $2 million given as tips across of Southeast Asia po. We could get po the Philippine number, but this is how po you can be assured that the tips is separate because magkahiwalay po yung charging po. Kasi po diretso na po yun dun sa wallet po ng driver.
Maraming
Thank
salamat
you.
po. Paano po dun sa iba? Baka po may gusto magdagdag.
Magandang hapon po, Mr. Chair. Sa InDrive po, while hindi po specific yung nakalagay kung magkano po yung pwedeng ibigay na tip, meron po nagpa-pop up na message before po or pag nagbayad na po yung pasahero para magsabi nga parang the driver will feel better if makaka-receive po ng tip after the ride for good service. So 100% din po, it goes to the drivers po.
Maraming salamat po.
Yes,
I'm asking this question because it was raised to me by some drivers. Kasi nabanggit na po natin kanina, halimbawa po yung sa Grab, nabanggit ninyo, ang average 3 o kaya 2 ang driver na isang unit. Paano po tayo makakatiyak na yung nakuhang tip ng driver na ito for a shift na siya yung nagmamaneho ay sa kanya mapupunta at hindi po sa iba?
Per driver po, may sarili po silang login credentials. So, for example po, ikaw yung operator, sasabihin mo po, ito po yung mga authorized drivers ng sasakyan ko. So, lahat po sila may login, passcode, at driver selfie po. So, para po malaman namin na siya pong driver na yon ang nagmamaneho ng sasakyan at that point in time. And then po, corresponding po doon sa account ng driver, yung account niya po and including his wallet po.
Sa iba po, sa Move It, tsaka po sa
Sa-
InDrive.
Mr. Chair, sa Move It po, same behavior nung sa Grab, kung paano po yung tipping nila, ganun din po yung tipping namin. So, parehong-pareho po, pati po sa wallet. Pag may nagtip po na passenger sa driver, yung tip po na pupunta sa driver or rider, 100%. So, ganun din po, either cash or through the app.
Wala pong share yung owner, yung operator?
Wala pong share yung owner.
Maraming salamat po. Maganda pong linawin para po sa mga kababayan natin na sa panahon po ng krisis ay gusto ring tumulong sa ating mga kapwa Pilipino. So ayun po, nakita po natin yung assurance mula po sa ating mga TNVS operators. Last point na lamang po still on service contracting.
Please wrap up. Go
Last
ahead.
point, Mr. Chair, still on service contracting, but this time for the ALG. Kung matatandaan po natin, noong nakaraang Lunes, ni-raise po natin itong isyong ito. Particular, ni-raise din po ni Secretary Lopez ng DOTR na kailangan talaga ang turong ng mga LGU when it comes to service contracting kasi naroon ang resources. At ang banggit po na kinatawan ng DILG nung araw na iyon ay kinabukasan, kahapon, Martes, magkakaroon daw po sila ng pulong para balangkasin yung framework ng departamento padating sa usaping ito. I will not propound the question, Mr. Chair, but I would ask the committee that we instruct the DILG to please submit to this committee the framework or the policy that was supposedly developed by the agency in their yesterday's meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I'd like to go back to a subject matter that we already tackled earlier. Doon po tayo with our friends here, of course, na operator sa MC Taxi. Mr. Chair, just for background, we already discussed some of this already last Monday. Of course, we're here today to lead dito sa committee, but we're talking about also briefing on uplift for this fuel crisis that we're facing. And admittedly, transport sector, that's why we had to do another hearing today, we are gravely affected, and especially our constituents po sa MC Taxi. So last Monday, just for a brief recollection for everyone, it was very clear na yung ayuda being a ready component of the government was one of the first things, one of the first lines of defense that the government and administration deployed. Ngayon naintindihan po natin, especially the explanation of our economic managers earlier, that the ayuda was to be targeted and to help alleviate for those who are really in crisis. Yung mga lower sectors, nabanggit nga po earlier that if we were to suspend, there were a lot of discussions about other measures that could be taken. It would only benefit the upper deciles, if I recall, this is what we were talking. But to be effective for the most affected, sabi po nila yung ayuda yung i-roll out. And of course, we went through it already. Yung ayuda, we're very thankful na at least yung yung failures of the fuel subsidy program of the DOTR, meron naman pagsasalo sa DSWD. So again, but we look forward to more of its implementation. Kulang na kulang. I think very clear from Mr. Maglunsod a while ago, yung cry ng ating riders, kulang pa po. So, continuous po yan. But of course, ang nakita po natin, yung ayuda, ang sinasabi po ng lahat, although targeted, band-aid solution lang po ito. Kaya dapat long-term. On that aspect, Mr. Chair, as early as mid-March, naging push na rin po ng transport sector mag-price hike. Price hike po tayo across the board. And unfortunately, hindi po naisama dito yung MC Taxi. And I understand, as a general, lahat naman po na pause. Pero Mr. Chair, may we ask the LTFRB kung ano na po yung status ng ating price hike? Was a petition filed on the part of the MC Taxi?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Tama po, nag-file po ang grupo ni na Sir Romeo ng fare increase for MC Taxi. Now, this is under consideration of the board, considering we all know that MC Taxi ay wala pa pong franchise, hindi pa po siya ini-issue ng franchise, and the jurisdiction of the LTFRB applies only to those public utility vehicles. However, meron pong bagong development, which is the March 12, 2006 issuance of the Department of Transportation of DO number 2026-006. If I may cite, Mr. Chair, nag-issue na po ang DOTR ng interim guidelines for motorcycle taxi operations. This was issued last March 12, 2026. However, and we beg the indulgence of the committee considering that this issuance was overtaken by recent events. Specifically, the issue po yung ating kinakaharap na krisis ngayon. If you ask about the status, Mr. Chair, ito po ay isasama po namin sa mga discussion. Number one, as I said, is the issue of jurisdiction. With the department order, may jurisdiction na po ba? That's one of the issues to be resolved is, may jurisdiction na po ba ang LTFRB with the issuance of the department order? And number two, if the answer is in the affirmative, ano po ang reasonable increase of fare for motorcycle taxi, Mr. Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as of now, may issue of jurisdiction. Pero if I understand correctly, even before this DO, within the jurisdiction ng DOTR as a whole, yung pilot study. So hindi po ba hawak ng DOTR? I believe, in fact, even within the DOTR TWG, yung fare structure was an issue for the LTFRB to consider.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, Mr. Chair, the fare for MC Taxi was set by the DOTR through its issuance dated, if I'm not mistaken, May 19, 2019. So 2019 pa po yung suggested fare for MC Taxi. Ang gumawa po niyan, or ang nag-recommend po niyan, or ang nag-implement po niyan is the DOTR. So that is the reason why, Mr. Chair, that is one of the issues that we will have to resolve is the issue of jurisdiction.
Sige po. Although it bears to stress that LTFRB is part of the DOTR, it appears the way that you're answering is like di po kayo nag-uusap. No, but we understand where you're coming from and we'll get back to that na lang po. But ang point lang po namin, for long-term solutions na hindi band-aid, sana po huwag kalimutan yung MC Taxi. Kasi yung nangyari, nag-approve na yung DOTR ng price hike for the PUJs, I believe, and yung modern e-jeepney. Pero yung MC Taxi hindi na isama. Buti na lang, there will be no discrimination kasi we put it on pause. Tama? The LTFRB put on pause even a fare hike ng PUJ. And that's understandable kasi nasa crisis nga po tayo ngayon. Yung mga pasahero naman, it will be passed on to them. So understandably, lahat tayo dapat magtulungan dito. Hindi po pwede yung price hike at that time. So naintindihan po namin. But yun nga po, we are in a crisis, dapat po may long-term solutions. Kung di natin mapapataas yung price hike ng ating transport sector, edi babain natin yung komisyon. Yun po yung napag-usapan last Monday. Which brings me now to go back to our ride-hailing apps. Nung Monday, we were very happy when it was brought up to us, at least to our understanding, na across the board, 15%. It seems to be an industry-accepted number na mag-15% na lang po tayo sa komisyon. And in fact, yun nga po yung nabanggit ni Congressman Poe na we were celebrating here. Ngunit right after the hearing, and I understand, I share the frustration of Congressman Poe and Chairman Miro Kimbo, hindi daw totoo eh. Kasi right after, as the committee ended, we were receiving complaints yung sariling riders namin. And I hate to say it, alam mo nyo ba yung pulso ng mga rider ngayon, ang sabi nila, for the language, naglolokawan lang tayo dito eh. Kaya po ako personally nasaktan kasi we were participating last Monday in our face, sinasabi na okay tayo, 15% across, well, what we understood was across the board. Tapos malalaman po namin, hindi pala na-implement. So now, nabanggit nga po ni Congressman po and our ride-hailing app partners here have explained na hindi po siya outright and for whatever reason, dapat may tiered system po siya. Pero Mr. Chair, just to be sure na I'm on the right track here, just to double check, may we know from Angkas, tama po, no? Ang tier system po ninyo ay Rookie, Gold, Platinum, MVP. Is this still a current system?
That's correct po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, may I beg for the indulgence of the Chairman that my limitation be expanded? It's close to our
Go ahead,
constituency.
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Because
Chair.
you're from Ateneo, you have 15 seconds. Go ahead. No, in all levity aside, go ahead and finish your very important points.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So with the indulgence of the committee, I'll proceed, no? So with Angkas, tama po ba?
That's correct, Mr. Chair po.
Nagulat lang po kasi kanina may tinawag po kayong bakbakero. Is this another tier or ano po ba ito?
That's the top tier po. It's an informal term, Mr. Chair, but that's the top tier po with 0%.
For MVP, yun.
That's correct po, Mr. Chair.
Valid, okay. Mr. Chair, may we ask also Joyride, ang mga tiers po natin ay ranging from Master, Legend, at Tagapagmana.
That's correct, Congressman.
Also correct, Mr. Chair. And for Move It, may we confirm it's Silver, Gold, and Platinum?
Yung tier system po namin, yung top tier namin is Alamat. Then we have Platinum and Gold.
Mr. Chair, so itong lumalabas na Silver, Gold, Platinum, that's rolling from April 1 to 30. Ano po to? Parang promo or?
Saan po yan pwede makita? Kasi po lahat po ng communications namin sa riders namin, it's since last year, binago po namin siya. So, Alamat is the top, then we have Platinum, Gold, and yung tinatawag namin na member, which is yun nga, yung one ride per day or per week or per month.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Well, anyway, we'll get back to that na lang po. No? So just to clarify, na tiered system po tayo. As explained earlier, it's not an outright 15%. Pero ang problema po namin dito, Mr. Chair, kaya nga po nung Monday, what we were talking about were long-term solutions given na may crisis po tayo, that's the whole point of this committee, yung commission na sinasabi, parang unattainable po eh. I don't know, there was mention of some number of hours to achieve these rides. Pero yung sa amin, based on our internal survey sa mga riders po namin, maybe ask Mr. Chair sa ride-hailing apps, per app po siguro, how many hours of rides would be required to qualify for that 15% na binandera po natin nung Monday? Would they have any idea po? Maybe start siguro po with Joyride? Mr. Chair, maybe direct to Joyride po, if they have an idea how many hours on average to achieve yung 15% commission?
Tinitingnan po namin kasi, as we discussed with WG, driver has the opportunity or the decision to drive as much as 12 hours. We do not tell them to drive 12 hours. We do not force them. However, in the tiering method, just to give you an example, Congressman, in terms of the Tagapagmana level, tinitignan natin 13 rides a day. So if you talk about 12 or 13 rides a day, that's 3 rides in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening. And then 3 maybe late at night. No? So again, it's really going to be dependent upon the decision po ng driver. Ang driver po kasi independent na negosyante yan eh. Siya po nagdedesisyon kung kailan siya babiyahe o hindi. Meron po mga sitwasyon, umagang-umaga, magbabiyahe, pahinga ng tanghali, tapos hapon, babiyahe, pahinga uli, and then sa gabi. So nung tinignan po namin yung actual doable na lalo na nga po dahil nga sa crisis ngayon, sabi nga natin, tulungan naman natin yung commuter. Nakita namin, sa 13 biyahe isang araw, marami-rami ka nang mako-cover, matutulungan, and because of that, we will give you 15%. Yun po yung naging thinking ng ano. Kasi po, mahirap po, Congressman, yung across the board lang, lahat bibigyan mo. Kasi ang mawawalan po ng motibasyon dyan, yung commuter, kawawa naman. Kasi kung okay naman, wala namang reason para ikaw magdagdag ng biyahe. Diba? So isa lang biyahe, 15% ka na. Although I would like to reassure you, I sent a message already and dinidiscuss po namin lang the impact on our commuter base. Yun lang po yung medyo yung mga commuters po natin na gusto po natin mabigyan ng tamang
Thank you, Mr. Chair. But on average, how many hours po yung 13 rides na yun? If by the and to be sure, Mr. Chair, to qualify to a tier, ang computation pa ay per day kasi yung report sa amin ay per month eh.
Opo. So 12 per day, 'di ba? So pag lumabas po na 12 o 13, siguro po mga umaabot yan siguro mga depending on how far it is, siguro mga 10 to 12 hours po. With rest in between. Hindi naman po siya yung 12 hours na tuloy-tuloy. So pwedeng 4 na oras, for example, sa umaga, pahinga ng ilang oras, kasi po yung 24 oras naman, pwede ka magpahinga in between. Ang biker po kasi minsan, magpapahinga 3 oras, biyahe uli, etc. Parang ganun po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May we ask Angkas?
Before you answer, let us just be clear that when we talk about lowering of the commission, let's not be too simplistic here that, we finish this discussion, you will lower it for the simple reason that you want to lower it, but in reality, you maintain the other structure. So dapat accordingly, bumababa din yung iba ninyong commissions. So if you say that we can't simply lower it because otherwise we don't provide an incentive for them to be there during peak hours or rewarding those who are frequently traveling, when we say lowering, then there should be a cascading effect on the entire commission structure. So, meron pa rin kasi 15% para doon sa hindi nagbiyabiyahe o magiging 10% para doon sa nagbiyabiyahe. So, it should go down the line. That's the direction that we are looking at. Hindi yung just the simple base price, bababaan ninyo, pero structurally, hindi nyo rin babaguhin yung iba. Hindi rin makikinabang ang rider doon. Yes, Mr. Angkas, go ahead. Let's please answer direct to the point.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, yung tanong po is how long or how many rides that is. Ang average po, thereabouts is 7 hours po silang nasa biyahe. Yung pong 7 rides that is required para po bumaba to 15% yung commission, that will take up around 2 to 3 hours po. So 7 hours, 2 oras po doon ay yung normal, regular 20%, yung pong na-flash kanina. And then the rest of the 5 hours, or kung in some other cases, there are bikers who go beyond that, pababa po ng pababa. Yun po yung graduated that we mentioned, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, may we ask po si Move It?
For Move It po, normally mga 8 hours po tumatagal sa daan, Mr. Chair, yung rider namin.
To qualify for 15%.
To qualify, yes. So for 8 hours, kaya niya ng mga 16 to 17 rides a day.
Mr. Chair, I think we have to discuss this further because yun nga po, itong naririnig po natin dito sa committee ay napakaganda, napaka-achievable. Pero on the ground, ang naririnig po namin ay hindi po. It's the opposite. Ang sabi po sa amin, based on our riders, may tinatanong, to qualify for the 15%, they're talking about 16 to 19 rides a day on average. Of course, hindi naman to, this might be a mix, there might be outliers between the 3 apps. Pero yun po ang sasabi po nila. And yung 16 to 19 a day, on average, ang rides po nila would be 30 to 40 minutes. So when you put that all together, we're talking about more than 12 hours po. Napakahaba po nito just to, and we're only talking about, ang 15% po ay retroactive? Or it's only after that, once you hit those 12 rides or so, moving forward lang po ba yung pagbawas ng komisyon? Can we ask Joyride po?
Can you repeat po yung question after? Paano po?
Yung tier system po natin, na when they qualify for 15%, yung 15% ba will go retroact to all the other rides that day or it's only for future rides?
Ano po, retroact po yun. So, ang mangyayari, actually, hindi naman single level lang eh. Kasi may in-between eh. Merong legend tier, merong master tier. So, bumababa po ng bumababa habang dumadami yung biyahe. The minimum is 10 trips. No? So, parang ganon. And then, as is na po siya doon sa level ng tagapagmana tier. No? So, enjoy na siya doon sa mga susunod.
Yung retroactive po is for the day or for the month?
Although ang suggestion po namin, hindi na sila sumobra doon eh. Kasi nga, mas delikado. Ito po yung sinasabi ko earlier na iniiwasan din po natin na mag-overtrip dahil nga po, tataas naman yung sitwasyon na baka mag-aksidente naman. No? So we had to balance it. And we'd like to reassure you, kausap naman po namin yung mga bikers namin. Ito, in consultation po with them. That's why we're actually a little confused dun po sa mga nagre-reklamo. Kasi po, very clear naman po sa lahat ng bikers namin ito. Hindi naman po ito parang binato lang namin and then that's it eh. Alam po ng mga bikers, well at least yun po mga bikers ng Joyride. In consultation po namin ginawa sa kanila to. Kasi they also want to show justice naman dun sa mga bikers talaga na dedicated. No? Kaya po napag-isipang malalim to. And that's why pagpaumanhin po ninyo na ito po, no, pinag-aaralan pa namin kung paano magiging impact. Doon naman po sa ibang mga biker na din namin. Kaya hindi makapag-decision right away.
Pero Mr. Chair, just to thank you, but to go back to the question, 30 to retroactive siya for the day. It applies to all the rides, even
Opo.
yung mga natapos
Opo.
na. Mr. Chair, can we ask the same from Angkas?
Yes, Mr. Chair. It is retroactive.
Once qualified. Mr. Chair, may we ask move it?
Sa amin kasi, Mr. Chair, achievable yung ganon because of our platform, yung back-to-back bookings, no? So, hindi pa nakakarating dun sa destination yung rider, meron na siyang kapalit na booking. So, very achievable naman within the time frame yung 16 to 17. Ngayon, Mr. Chair, actually, ganun din, kinakausap namin mga riders namin and marami namang percentage ng rider yung nakakaabot talaga nung tier na alamat kung tawagin namin.
Sige, Mr. Chair, but to go back to the question, retroactive po ba once na achieve yung tier na alamat, all the previous rides nasasama na po?
Hindi po.
So only for future rides?
For future.
Okay. So Mr. Chair, I think we have a disconnect po, no? Kasi yung sinasabi po nila, achievable, maganda, and very very easy to achieve po yung 15%. Pero based on our riders, napakalayo po yung katotohanan eh. And siguro po, if what they're saying is when they talk to the riders, sabi nila, okay, perhaps they can talk to the riders that we're talking to. So Mr. Chair, maybe if we can get a commitment po from our ride-hailing apps na siguro after this, mag-set aside tayo ng day for a meeting na para may harap yung mga riders na ito and for them to consider that into their formulation of their commission. Kasi po, ang layo po ng reports eh. And I think it speaks volumes na yung hindi lang po ako eh. Yung kay Chairman Po, ganun yung reklamo. Kay Chairman Kimbo, kay Congressman Po. Kay Chairman Kimbo, ganun rin yung reklamo. Yung sa akin, ganun yung reklamo. So it's very hard for us to take it on face value now na okay, at least may 15% na achievable, ngunit hindi pala. But at the very least po, Mr. Chair, since our time is running out, we reiterate our plea siguro po for partnership. Nasa crisis po tayo ngayon. Sana maging total po, without any tiers, 15%. And again, for the purpose of whatever bill that we're going to hatch here in the committee, I would like to again reiterate that we give emergency powers to the DOTR perhaps to have them go into the commission po, no, that they can dictate what commission would be allowable. Seeing as I have no more time left, Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank the committee for their indulgence. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Congressman
just
Rufus
a very
Rodriguez.
short intervention, if you allow me, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I heard Paniero, Austria, about jurisdiction. Is there still a problem on jurisdiction on them? I heard you that there is a problem on jurisdiction. It's very important because we have to already, at this point, know about whether you have jurisdiction or not. MC Taxi and then also the other transport. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
What is the problem?
The issue with MC Taxi, Mr. Chair, before the issuance of the department order is that the implementing authority is not actually the LTFRB, but the Motorcycle Taxi Technical Working Group. And with the issuance of the department order, we will have to, the board will have to discuss on how to proceed with the petition for fare increase filed by the group of Mr. Romeo, Mr. Chair.